If you've ever worked on a house from the 90s or before, you'll probably have seen these angle stops that you have to turn a bunch of times in order to actually get them to shut off. And even once they're tight, there's a good chance they're not actually shut off. So if you ever need to replace a faucet or anything like that, you're going to run into problems and have to shut off at the main. And I much prefer the new ball valve type shutoffs. And so I'm going to show you how I replace the old type with the new type without any special tools and without all that much effort. So stick around and we'll show you how to do it.
There you go.
The first thing you want to do is shut off your water supply at the main inside if you have it, or wherever you need to shut it off. Sometimes you have to go outside, but once you have that done, I'd release the pressure of the water supply on an existing faucet somewhere so that you don't have so much water coming out of the actual pipe that you're replacing the shutoff at. Once you get that all released and you can finish removing the shutoff valve, you'll notice that the new shutoff valve comes with this compression fitting. It's called a ferrule. You can technically remove that, but sometimes it doesn't work that well and you require a specific tool in order to do it in the first place. So instead of actually replacing that, what we're going to do is not use the new ferrule and nut. We're going to use the old one and clean it up and get it sealed in order to use the same one. So what you want to do is use some light sandpaper in order to clean up any burrs or anything on the existing ferrule and pipe a little bit. But you got to be careful not to remove too much material. You just want to clean it up. And then you'll want to wipe it off real well with a cloth of some sort. And then we're going to get it sealed up with some pipe dope and attach the new stop to the old ferrule and nut, and we'll test it for any leaks. And the reason that we need to add pipe dope onto the old ferrule is because any of the imperfections in that material need to be sealed, and they exist because they made it up with the old stop and the ferrule. But now that we've removed it, it would leak without the pipe dope added on there. So be sure and get that on there. And it's usually not necessary, but you should probably add some pipe dope onto those metal threads of the stop in order to seal that as well. And then be careful not to over tighten this because it'll actually crush the copper piping underneath the ferrule. So be cautious with that. And since I'm replacing both of mine, I'm going to go ahead and get that done before I turn the water main back on, although it may be safer if you wanted to do one of them and then check that one. Although if your other side is leaking, then you may not have that ability. So here I'm just going to quickly do that and then we'll turn it back on and test it. And you'll also probably want to clean up the surface underneath it and put a bowl or something just to make sure that if it does drip, you know it's a new drip and not some drop from before. And then also before you go turn the water back on, don't forget to make sure the valve is turned off. Otherwise you might go spraying water everywhere since there's, at least in my case, there's nothing attached to them while I'm testing. And here I'm just turning the water main back on, and I'm doing it by myself, so I'm listening for any water spraying. But if you have some help, then make sure you have them yell at you if something goes wrong. I stick my finger under there to feel for anything wet, and then I even just to prove to you that the water supply is on. There you go. And the new stop with the existing ferrule and the old nut is all done. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next project.